There's a demo review for Secretly We Are Kawaii. Their demo gets there pretty fast. Scout comes out to pressure them out. Yeah, it just looks like you were too slow on the rollout, and they're able to get really far forward before you. It also looks like because you were locked out, your team didn't really commit soon enough. You're soldier bombing there. Usually you want to have the soldier bomb instantly to the side that they're pushing from, so having him bomb up, if he's whipping and bombing at the right time, should be able to land like right on their combos or coming up here. You can just bomb straight up and sort of land in front of them, or you can double bomb, like surf off this and come in behind them there, or land straight on their head. But usually you want to try to be having your soldier bomb with the side you're pushing, and just sort of swarm and overwhelm that one side. Here you guys have full advantage. You're trying to use that. Looks like you get forced a little bit earlier than you would want to pop. And then here you have like everybody going river, but only your demo and your soldier really commit. So if you're going to be pushing out, you're going to want your demo and your scout taking the Uber, and then everyone else making sure they're pushing up and committing. There your med and heavy just stay in too long. They should have backed out as soon as your demo died, and as pretty much as soon as the Uber had faded, because at that point you would have seen that pretty much you got nothing done, and so you weren't going to be able to be successful pushing out. And then you just had like a few random flank classes just sort of feed in lobby. Once you like lose the push, or you know that you're not going to be able to get the cap, you definitely want to make sure you fall back. Because living and having even just a few people extra alive on last can be really important. And then here, like, you guys had a lot of kills right after defending last there, but you didn't really push out. But instead you're sort of waiting till now to start going out. Looks like part of your team is going out, your soldier takes over lobby, and so does your scout, but your combo is just really sluggish moving forward here. At this point they're only 4 up, so ideally, like, they're like super overcommitted. So something here you could try is going over like you are now, or you can try just going through lobby, coming out lower. It's a little bit more risky, but you also cut off the respawners from being able to help them. But if you're too slow, you'll sort of get pinched off. It just seemed like you guys kind of lucked out there. Probably should have tried to push out quicker when you had the initial picks after defending last. Then here, I'm not sure exactly what the plan was for you guys, but their med had lived that entire time, so obviously they had Uber. Maybe you guys had a pick or something, but I think it was pretty much even, and then you just sort of try to shove your way through choke. And pushing when it's even through choke, it's really not going to do anything unless you're just trying to trade Ubers. Here, sort of are trading kills on the flank, and that's something you really want to avoid. Slightly goes in your favor this time, but playing aggressive on flank is a good way to sort of bleed players, and if you start bleeding flank classes, you'll just get rolled. Here your soldier does a good job of getting aggressive and bombing their med, but something that you should do when your soldier is going for play is try to peek in at the same time, or even a little bit ahead of the soldier, so you can distract them and then have space for your soldier to get the force or the kill. Here you guys get in afterwards, and then it's just like a solo demo Uber across the point that gets forced out, which is really not very good. And then their team paused for no reason, but yeah, that was just sort of messy. You guys probably should have had your combo pressure a little bit sooner, probably in advance to your soldiers, so they would be distracted. That probably would have allowed you for sure force the mid, or worst case, get some more kills as you're pushing into mid. And then it seemed like when you popped Uber across the point, it was only your demo really there, And then since it was only you two, and it was sort of like a forced Uber, I guess you guys sort of got goaded into trying to make something happen, but it just backfired and caused you to die. There, your spy just gets a free kill in your med. And they're all hurt. You guys are doing a good job pushing forward. Here you're having people pressure the shutter at the same time as you pressure from uppers, so that's already an improvement. And you guys are doing a job of sort of getting forward and locking them out of choke as you're capping. So that's just good basic gameplay there that a lot of teams lack. And then you have picks and you're already just shoving your way through choke. They're only 3 up when you pop. It probably would have been better to just, I guess your demo wasn't that low because they're already pretty high health. Don't know exactly why you guys popped, maybe miscommunication, but when they're only like 3 up like that situation, you really want to avoid popping, because if you had preserved that Uber, you'd have like 60% Uber advantage to be pushing it a second right here. Instead, you guys are down 3 and they'll likely push you out. When you're down 4 like this, you definitely want to be backing up and holding more passively. There, oh my goodness. Your med's just peeking choke alone, that's pretty questionable. Ideally, you'll sort of like back up to big door. If you are down a few players, but want to be able to instantly repush with your spawns, because then you're safer down here, and then you're able to meet up with your spawns as they come in, and then you can just go back up and hold choke again. Your demo's still able to sort of spam choke from here. You guys, your flank does a really good job of getting a bunch of kills here, and then they pressure forward, take lobby, and just sort of pinch their combo. They force them out here. You guys, again, are just sort of like popping through the chokes blindly. Maybe something your spy could try to help you with is just calling out where they are and what the other team is doing, so you know what to expect as you come through, because in that situation, they had popped Uber way back on seconds, so you could have walked through choke and only had to deal with a single heavy there. And so you could have popped much later and then probably killed their entire combo. Just sort of seems like either miscommunication or just a sort of a lack of like a general plan of what you guys want to be doing. So whether your demo should try to call what they want to be doing with Uber more. Hitting tab as much as possible could help that, because then you'll sort of know who's alive and what not. Because a few times you just popped too early when they were down a ton. It could be avoided by hitting tab, and then your spy, especially on Gully Wash, can be really key to calling out where their combo is. You guys could do a good job here of when you bleed players, you just sort of back up into river here. That's the safest and strongest spot to be holding as a combo when you're down numbers. So that's a very smart play. Here, it looks like... what on earth is their scout doing? You guys do a good job of just sort of Ubering in, making space, and sort of pushing them back up into here, and at the same time getting pressure on the cap, so it was a really good last push there. It's pretty much ideal on how you want to play it. Just sort of push them back there and then have your demo spamming the point as people cap. But anyways, on this mid fight, you guys are going aggressive this round, so that's perfectly fine. Just looks like you guys are sort of ending up trading here. Trading sides is fine for the most part, but it usually leads to one team pretty much almost wiping, like what happened here. I didn't really see the start of that mid, and I'm not sure exactly where your soldier and scout went, but I just want to make sure you're overwhelming the same side for the mid push, the mid fight rather. Here, you know, they have big advantage. Some try to have your heavy do is just get buffed up to 450 and go under the point. Here, your med's dropping down to the ground for something you never want to do. Demo's doing a good job of making sure they're covering the points. but it's only really the demo and then now the soldier. So having the heavy sort of control lower helps guard the point and lower at the same time. It's something usually you only want to commit someone to, such as the heavy, like when they have big uber advantage and you just sort of a last ditch hold attempt. But in that situation you're heavy, you just sort of stay up top, but you guys manage to hold off, and then you're pushing out. Here just seems like your med wasn't really aware of what's going to be happening in that situation. Seems like not the best comms right now, because the NG is just sort of wandering around at last, being soloed by a pyro. And then your demo's like going in for a play on their med or something, but should really just be backing up to last and trapping off the entrances. Quick fix here, I'm not really a fan of. They wouldn't have that big of an advantage, and I honestly don't think quick fix is going to make that big of a difference between being able to hold and not hold, because realistically, for the actual last fight, having people buffed up will be more important than the 40% extra heals for the short last fight. So probably just staying on regular is ideal, unless it's like they're pushing this very instant. Here you do a good job of having your flank sort of frag their flank. So now it's like only their combo left alive. Like you clean them up, push them out. That's an ideal time to go quick fix, when it's sort of like a last ditch effort to hold. But then looks like people are sort of pushing out at different times again. This just sort of seems like a lack of communication. And then here you guys are still trying to push out or something. And then their heavy is just completely unaware of what's going on. But usually pushing through main is not something you want to be doing when you're pushing on a last. Usually you want to be pushing either through shutter or through river, because then you're sort of more on high ground instead of just going through this one choke. And like overall it seemed like you guys just were pushing out when it wasn't really an ideal time to. Could have been handled a lot better. Here your soldier really needs to just be bombing up there straight into their combo, or else you're never gonna win. It's really something you need to have your soldier bomb over the top here and land on their demo, so they can't stick you out as you try to come up. That's really, really key to being successful, being aggressive on mid. Yeah, that round just did not go so well. Just making sure your soldier is bombing up the same side as you, and just everyone's being aggressive to that one side. That's really the only way you'll have a chance on mid. Seems like you guys don't really know where you want to go. Your med's already backing out, and then you have like a few people pushing up. This is just very bad, to be honest. You either have to commit or get out, but you guys just sort of sat in limbo there and just waited to wipe. Just making sure, try to have like a clear main caller and you know exactly what the plan is for the mid. Usually the simplest way is just to like by default roll out to choke, and if you mess up your first jump or you want to plan it specifically, then you go big door and push up right side. Or if you hit your rollout, then just go choke and have your team come up elbow. Usually if you come big door, you always want to push up right side. So that's something you want to communicate to your team, which side you're going as demo, to make sure everybody's on the same page. Here, I guess you have 3 kills and a slide advantage, so you're trying to work out. With only 3 kills, you ought to make sure that you're pressuring and sort of using your numbers to get more kills, which you guys are doing effectively here. but again, it's just sort of sluggish play by your combo. Just kind of taking your sweet time to push forward. Here they're close, so you just gotta be using the crits. Kill the whole team essentially there, but it's only your demo and med committed here, so you really need more flank classes getting forward and supporting. You really only need your NG watching last, so like your soldier, your sniper, pyro, everybody else can be pushing forward. Here their demo's dead. I don't know where your spy died, but if you had someone just try to peek through choke at all, you'd have noticed that they had nobody here. And so you guys could have walked in a 5, 6, 7 seconds beforehand and then been able to spam them as they're coming through big door. So just it seems like you guys have a lack of information on where their team is. So either peeking chokes more aggressively to get that info, or having your spy and your flank classes make sure they're calming where their combo is, just sort of where they're positioned as a whole. That'll make your Ubers a lot more effective, and your just general pushes and holds a lot better as well. Here your combo's holding on point, which is something you never want to be doing. You either want to be like holding defensively, or pushing up to their choke and locking them out. Then here I have no idea what your med's doing. That's just a straight feed. You're like 4 up or so, and your med's running towards their choke. You always want to be falling back when they have such huge numbers on you. So that's just a mistake there. I guess your demo and soldier are just going for a play on their med here. It doesn't quite work out. Med lives with 40 health, but it's pretty hard to go for just like a suicide alone there. And here, like, you're 4 down and you're trying to push up and hold choke. This is just a mistake here. When you have uber disadvantage and your numbers down, you want to just sort of default to holding up top, because then you're a lot safer from them pushing, and it's easier for you to sort of spam and get test them without the risk of dying. And then you're better set up to back out the last. But here you guys are just getting cut off big door, assuming they keep pushing, and then the NG just walks in for free. That's crazy. And then your med gets stabbed by someone in the middle of your team. That's something that should never happen, but somehow you guys, I guess your scout beats them. You managed to kill like their whole team. So here, you guys are starting to pressure in. At the moment it's like only your combo, and your flank's not pressuring from Victor. So you probably should have had your flank pressure in sooner there and sort of pinched him, because unless you commit really quickly there off your numbers advantage, they'll just be able to pop, delay, and then have their respawns come and kill you. So if you're gonna try to push with your med down and huge numbers, then you just gotta be faster. This just sort of seems like a common mistake that you guys are making, is you're not really getting the info that you need, and you're not capitalizing off the info because you don't have it. So just trying to make sure everyone's calling what they're seeing will help you guys out a lot instantly, and then just hitting tab more to be more aware of who's alive and sort of what you need to be doing as a result of the numbers. And then just like your combo and your flank seems sort of out of sync, so just trying to be faster with your pushes. Here you guys are going out big door. And you're going up your side. Your soldier and your scout are both coming up that side, so that's good. But generally you want your demo to roll out choke, and your combo just gets chain stabbed there. That's just silly. When you're down a ton and it's clear you're losing mid, especially when your med dies, you either want to all commit to try to kill their med, or if you're not going to be able to do so, just make sure you're running away and escaping. It just sort of seemed like another one of those situations where you guys are just sort of sitting halfway and not really committing to either fighting them or backing out, and so you just got the worst of both. Here you probably just want to buff up your heavy and have them go under the point. Your sniper's just sitting hard scope next to Nuber. It's kind of funny. But it seems like you guys try to kite forward too much there, and so you weren't really able to watch the point itself. That's something you want to be really careful with, especially when they Uber out a river, because oftentimes they'll be sending people under the point and just sort of Ubering straight to the point. The goal is usually just to be capping, so you usually want to just try to be focusing the point in those situations. That's why having a heavy or a pyro or both sort of committed to watching the point can be quite helpful. But overall, just sort of focus on pressuring forward when you have advantages, not being so sluggish when you do have them as well, making sure you guys are calming with your spy and having them let you know what's going on. And then just on mids, the last mid you're doing a little better job of having everyone sort of swarm together and blob, but it just sort of broke down when a spy got stabs on you guys. Just as you play, you'll sort of learn the timing of when the spy will run under mid, come with elbow, and be ready to stab, so you can just turn around for that. But it just seemed like you guys weren't blobbing enough in general on mid, and weren't really able to get positioning at all, and they would just beat you to mids. But overall, yeah, just try to focus on communication, because that's really important on 5CP, and it seemed like you guys were lacking. But overall, these are just sort of like simple things to improve. Like if you just focus on your communication and knowing where they are, you'll just instantly improve. So guys can improve quite a bit pretty quickly, so best of luck.